guys, Reset Jet here. Welcome back to the stream. Good lord, has it been even? Almost don't even want to talk about it. It is what it is, guys. I apologize again. You're just gonna have to ride with me during this period, I suppose, just where there's not a lot of inconsistency, or there is a lot of inconsistency with the stream here. But all that being said, yeah, welcome back to the stream, guys. We are here in Dublin right now, and I just saw on YouTube a Just Flight, I guess, production that recently came out. This Far Cargo airline, I've never heard of them before. Just found out that they've only got just this one aircraft, and they took it up to some island that I had never heard of before, towards the north of Ireland, called the was it the Fargo or something like that island. But all that to say, the approach looked epic, and I figured, hey, we could go ahead and try something like that here on Flight Sim here. So, or on X-Plane rather, not a Flight Sim. So we're gonna attempt to do just that right now. I just finished doing the paperwork here on Sim Brief, so as soon as I upload, let's see here, let's do this. And let's see if I can pull this up for you guys. Here we go. Just out of the way here. Alright, so yeah, Dublin up to, what is this airport called? Let's look this up real quick. Unload that for this. So, it's the Faroe Islands, and the airport itself is called Varga. So yeah, it's way up here out in Reykjavik airspace. But like I said, the approach looked freaking epic, so we'll give this a shot here. It's only like an hour and a half, a minute flight time. And weather-wise, I want to use the real-world weather, but I don't know if it's going to be preferable. Let's see here. Dublin's fine. I don't really care what the weather is like here in Dublin since we're leaving. Oh, look. Yeah, so there's light snow. Yeah, there's light snow. A few at 10 or 1,000, scattered at 2,800 feet. So I'm not entirely sure if we are going to do. I may just go to I don't know, maybe I'll just put out a poll or something. We'll figure it out once we get a little bit closer here, but let's go ahead and hop in the aircraft and get things loaded up here. Flight deck door is... There is no flight deck door, interesting. Huh. And I'm very curious if they're real aircraft, like if the L1 door actually folds in instead of out like the passenger version. I've never seen a freighter version of the S75 before, but anyway, let's go ahead and get some power in here. So battery, auto, aviation, bus tie switches, utility buses, auto and on, left and right gen on here. Let's see, and if I'm doing this by the book, landing gear is down, alternate flaps, norms, speed brakes down, and park brake is set. Sounds just turned off. I'm not sure why. Something just happened. Anyway, boom. Now we got power. Let's just go ahead and continue with the setting up the overhead here. So let's go ahead and turn our IRSs to nav, yaw dampers left and right to on. EEC switches should already be on here. Left and right engine generator Driven hydraulic pumps will stay on. Electric panel looks fine. Emergency lights, arm, engine limiters to on. I'll switch this to the second starter here since I am going to take this leg. Starters to auto. I'm going to take that center fuel out since I don't think we're going to need that much fuel. Done here, apply that. Alright, much better. Position light 2 on. Window heats on. Smoking. Seatbelt signs, sure. And let's see. Auto 1. For cabin altitude control. And what is our airport elevation here? 280 feet. Sure, we would test every single light here, up here, or ICAS, and back here as well. Those are not modeled, so that's fine. Just crank these up to the 12 o'clock position here. Trim air can go on left, recirc fan on, isolation valve is opened. To the MCP flight director on auto armed, flight director on as well. Slide down to the lower right side here. Lights are good. Test the oxygen there, and pressure is good. Let's see, what is our meter? Is QNH is 0996. Talk about a low pressure system. 2942. Alright, slide over to the standby. 96 here and 96 here. Let's engage this guy. Alright, finish on the FO side here. Restart the clock here. That's fine. Gears down on green. Oil temperature is a little bit on the low side. Fuel or oil quantity is kind of at the edge of the our minimum that we want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do. I can figure out maintenance. Fill that up. I thought that was going to fill it up to a little bit more than. Alright, whatever. Minimum 17 quarts. And hydraulic quantity is good here as well. To auto brakes to RTO. Reset the captain's clock of air. And zero out the DH on both sides. I do want to do this online as well too, so let's go to to 2.8 and that is good enough here. Let me go ahead and log on to Xpilot, connect as SWN 345, we are AB50, B752, connect there. Alright, let's go ahead and set up our MCP here. Like airport on my side, I'm just going to do the same thing on the captain's side here to map airport and traffic as well.
Control, hello, Ryzen 4 Papa Alpha 717 at doubling request, pushback.
Oh, do we have? Oh, we've got the center. Shamwick Center is online, or Shannon Controls online. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and I'll tell you what. While I'm thinking about that, let's just go ahead and file this route. And filed. Alright, so we are EIW or DW to EK Victor Golf. I think. Yeah, Victor Golf. It's Air Sweden 345. I don't even know what runway we're using here. Right, departing runway 10 right. On the Roddy Echo, looks like. To Rodef. Yep. Alright. 10 right. Rot E. Let's see what that looks like. Do Rot F. We'll activate that guy. Then direct to Gotna. Then direct to Nalin. To Robar. And direct to the field. And since there is no star at Bagar. Let's see, winds are out of the east last time I looked. Etar. 350 at 11, so never mind. Gotta be 30 then. I was gonna say it's gotta be something that's a little bit more direct. Let's do this. You know, what's a TAF say here? Because I'd actually like to do the approach from the other side. So I think that'd be a little bit more scenic, and I may just zero out the weather. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll just we'll plan on doing the approach from the east side here. And it is the localizer approach as well too. That's offset by what, 14 degrees because of the mountains. But the approach is definitely more scenic from this point of view, or from this view, so I think we're just gonna do that instead here. It's back to index. And oh wow, they don't even have the, it's just an RNAV here. Makes me wonder if the localizer approach would even work. Oh, interesting. I just assumed that they would have the... Alright. Tell you what. I'm just gonna leave it like that And pretty much just gonna eyeball this. We'll see if that localizer approach actually works there. Anyway, so the box is pretty much set. Except for our speeds. Cargo weight wise, let's see what we've got here. 65,210. 65210. Which only goes up to 35,000 apparently. Okay. It's a PAL number. Well, this is going to really skew our weights off here. So zero fuel weight's 195.5. Block fuel is 24,364. I'm just going to round it up to 20. Actually, wait, 20. Yeah, make that 2440. 24.4. Oops, that's the. What am I doing? So this maxed out at 35, I think. Yep, 35. So fuel, let's do 24,400 pounds. Zero fuel weight's 184.5. Yeah, I'm gonna change this paper here. Let's go back to some brief. Alright, let's go back to fuel planning. Payload. Payload, let's say 22,000. How about that? Alrighty, there's that. Pull this up once again. Okay, for some reason it reduced my cargo weight to 21,000 pounds here, but that's fine so long as it's keeps us in the range here and it matches what we've got in the paperwork, then that's all I care about. So 21,604 for the weight. Let's optimize this really quick. Let's see, zero fuel weight's 151.9. Zero fuel weight here is still. Alright, how about this? That's about 5,000 pounds more. What did I just say it was? 21, about 26,604. 151.9.7, that's close enough. Load this. Hide this. And we're going to go up to flight level 380. Cost index of 45. I think, yeah, 45. And average wind of 220 at 53. Alright, zero fuel weight is 151.8, gross of 176 which is higher than the paperwork, but whatever. Zero fuel weight's close enough there. The reserves 2.6 seems like on the low side there. How about we say that would be 1? Yeah, give me 1. I like 4.1 better. 4.1 there. Flaps 5. D rate. D rate of speeds you're giving us right now. We're super light, so let's just go to 48, 161, sure. V1's 123, VR 130, V2 138. Super light. 138, V2, that's already up here. RMV nav. And the big weights, or big speeds rather, that should be what, for 163 and 203, cool. Alright, box looks like it is completely set. Now I'll do legs on the skipper's side. Alright, let's take a look at our clearance. It says PDC cleared to Vagar via Rot Ev 8 Echo, runway 10 right, stop climb at 9,000 feet. Squawking 7323, switch to frequency 134.26 when airborne. Interesting call. 3426 when ready for push and start, no reback required. Alright, 7320. 23. I suppose we can test the weather. Test this, test that. Alright, that looks good enough for me. Weather. Turn that off. Turn this off. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're doing here. So we'll be departing off runway 10 right. It's only 8,600 feet more or less. On the Rot Ev, straight out at or above 4,000 feet. DME 0.9. 0.9 DME, and then maintain 9,000, out or below 9,000 feet there, which is I guess why we've got that 9,000 limit. Max speed and 250 knots below 10,000 feet, so just the usual. And then we've got restriction of flight level 230 at Rot Ev. That's interesting. Guess all the overhead traffic. Anyway, so pre-flight, let's do a pre-flight checklist really quick, and then we can go on and get out of here. While we're doing that, we're waiting for this, I'll start the APE. Let's whip out the checklist really quick here. Oxygen's been tested, pressurization, mode selectors, auto, flight instruments test, spark brakes set, fuel control switches cut off, and pins are removed. Pre-flight checklist complete. Alright, for a quick brief, weather-wise, it's shitty, but that's Ireland for you, I suppose. Just broken to 4,400 feet, rather, so good enough to get back to Dublin on a regular Cat 1 ILS if we need to. Not sure how we're going to get down to the taxiway here. Eventually end up on Sierra, however, Shannon wants us to get there, but end up on Sierra, depart off runway 10 right here. In the event we need to abort at or below 80 knots, abort for any reason. Jeez. Including master caution, master warning. Window's not going to pop open, but if it did, we would abort for that too. And unusual noise or vibration at above 80 knots up to V1. Just a big 4 engine fire failure. Wind shear prediction, which we do not have. And if we just don't think the aircraft is going to fly for whatever reason. And we would also abort if Tower told us to abort as well. Above V1, take whatever emergency we've got into the air, we'll deal with it there, and swing back around, come back, land at Shannon, or not Shannon, but Dublin rather. Relieved, not sure about it. APU's up and running, let's disconnect ground power, let's get the APU here. Now, let's see, let's go to DB4. Start checklist here. Fuel's been checked. passenger sign set, windows closed and lock, MCP is set, thrust, takeoff thrust is checked, takeoff speeds been checked, CD pre-flight's complete, other aileron trim is set, taxi taxi and takeoff briefing has been complete. Flight deck door is not yet locked. We'll get on it in a little bit here, and front anti-collision light, we will turn it on in a second. Alright, so it's gonna DPU, don't need a fuel truck, close the main door here, main cargo door rather, and the aft as well. And there is nobody here, so let's just go ahead and close everything up. Thought I had the stairs looked up still, I guess not. Alright, doors closed. Let's go ahead and set our pre-planned push here. Where the hell are we? So I'm assuming we're going to push back that way.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright, flight deck door is non-existent. And beacon and or red anti-collision light, that is on before start checklist complete. Let's go ahead and request push. Start
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And up here, well actually start down here. Transponder is on my side. Reset this guy here. 7, 3, 2, 2, 3. And center is on 134.2634. 26. Oh man, let's do this. Radio, avionics. Gets that guy here. There we go. 26. Save that. And he says switch to frequency when airborne call when ready for push and start. Weird. Alright, whatever. I'll call for push and start here. Shannon control, Air Sweden 345, ready to push from stand 143, I think.
Sweden 345, Shannon, good evening. Push and start is approved and the QNH is 996 hectopascals.
Push and start is approved and 996 for Air Sweden 345.
Tow connected and bypass in and serving. Release parking brake.
Seabird 2196, your flight level 360.
Parking stands east side.
Seabird 219, Victor Shannon, hello, radar contact.
Yep, 144, I'm not 140, whatever. Alright, parking brake is released.
Starting pushback. And you may start engine.
Don't mind if I do. Alright, right recirc fan can come on here.
Seabird 4 Tango,
fuel
Shannon,
pumps
hello,
on,
confirm flight level.
and hydraulics
Flight level
are set there.
Seabird 4 Tango, thank you, radar contact cleared to Dogal.
And he's not pushing because our chocks are stolen.
On Air 4 Papa Alpha, there's nothing further, so 103 Unicom. Bye bye, you know. On Air 4 Papa Alpha, Shannon.
Go ahead, Ryan, 4 Papa Alpha.
On Air 4 Papa Alpha again, Unicom. Bye bye.
Unicom, thank you, Ryan, 4 Papa Alpha.
Neato, I didn't realize we had traffic out
Shannon
here.
Control, very good evening. Shamrock 7 Tango Echo at flight level 360.
What's that? Ryanair.
Shamrock 7 Tango.
ATR, that's
Echo,
awesome.
Shannon, g'day, and Squawk 4434.
Alright, let's go ahead and start our motors up here. APU bleed
Squawk
off.
4434, Shamrock 7 Tango
Backs
Echo.
off. APU bleed back to on.
Shamrock 201 cleared to if BAP descend, flight level 80.
And starting left. And starting.
Shamrock 201, sorry, can you say the waypoint again, please?
Lock.
Confirm direct to if BAP.
So it's if BAP and descent flight level 80. Shamrock 201.
Shamrock 7 Tango, Echo radar contact, expect ILS 10 left, you're cleared Bunted 3 Romeo, and when ready, descend, flight level 240.
Alright, there's 25% in 3.
Expect ILS
Go
runway
straight to
10
run
left,
here.
clear via the Bunnet 3 Romeo, arrival, when ready, descent flight level 240, Shamrock 7 Tango Echo.
Lufthansa
It
Photo
is
requesting flight level 380.
Alright, AGT's peaked, now it's rolling back, so I'm going to consider that a
380, call sign over
good start. We'll go ahead and start
we stepped on each other
the
there.
second engine
so
here,
call sign
reset the
is
clock.
flight level 380, call sign only please. Lufthansa 42.
And I think he's done with the push, so go ahead and set the brakes.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Shannon,
Connect safe sail. Stand by.
449 level 306.
Lufthansa Cargo 449, Shannon, hello, radar contact.
Ryanair 11 Tango Kilo ready to take.
Ryanair 11 Tango Kilo, taxi Delta Sierra, and yeah, just make the switch down to Delta Sierra, then advise if you can make your, if there's enough wingtip clearance with the 757.
Delta Sierra, we were 5.
Jemster 33 Charlie Bravo is ready to taxi. Jemster 33 Charlie Bravo, you're following that Ryanair 73 in front, taxi Delta Sierra for the moment. Following the Ryanair in front, Delta Sierra.
Hose disconnected and bypass bin has been removed.
Alrighty, that's a
Right.
good start.
See you next time, and have a safe flight.
Off here.
35 Shannon, radar contact, you're cleared bags of, you're
Engine
cleared bags of
bleeds
3 Romeo,
on,
ILS
packs
10
auto,
left, descent, flight level
Recall check,
160.
auto brakes RTO and flaps going to fight after start, checklist. I don't think actually it exists here, just go straight to taxi checklist, which is fun enough. Any ice is as required, which is off, assistant switches off, recalls and check, auto brakes RTO, connected has been clear. We'll turn on the taxi light here in a second before taxi checklist is complete.
Station 996, Jeff,
Yeah,
stop
I think we can use
transfer
that as well too. Turn that on. Alright, since our engines are up and running, I'll do a start another clock here for the warm up, and let's go ahead and call for
Eastern 8020, descend, flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80, Eastern 80.
Shannon, Air Sweden 345, taxi with Charlie.
Right, I want to Tango Kilo, just hold position there.
Hold position, right.
Air Sweden 345, taxi, Foxtrot outer, Mike 1, hold short of runway 34.
Uh-oh. Say again, I was a Foxtrot and where for Air Sweden 345?
Air Sweden 345, taxi Foxtrot outer, Mike 1, hold short of runway 34.
Foxtrot, Mike 1, hold short over me. 1-4 for Sweden 345. My goodness.
1634, so the runway 1634, you'll get it anyway. So break 1 Tango Kilo following the 757. Foxtrot outer, Mike 1,
Jeez,
hold short
sound
of
like
runway
such a
34.
freaking rookie.
Foxtrot out of Mike 1 for the
Link.
So 33 Charlie Bravo, same to you, following the 2 items in front, Foxtrot outer, Mike 1, hold short of runway 34.
And pre-4.
Runway right now, Fox Alpha, Mike 1, hold short, all 34, 33 Charlie Bravo.
It's F. Mike 1 will sort of Okay, I think I understand now. Charlie, Foxtrot outer. I just want to verify for Air Sweden 345. That was at Foxtrot outer, inner, and then Mike 1, hold short of runway 14.
No, there is no runway 14. So, but yes, you're
Jeez.
so Foxtrot
I'm-
outer, Mike 1, and then just hold short of the runway. That's you'll see a stop bar on Mike 1. Just hold short of that runway.
I don't know, I'm mixing, doubling up with Sweden, with Zurich. I'm sorry, Foxtrot outer, Mike 1, hold short of runway 16 for Air Sweden 345.
No problem.
Jeez
all
Louise.
stations on the ground at Dublin, Qatar 18.6. I'll chat to you soon.
My goodness. That's why I just stay in the US, man. 6. 18.6. Let's get going here. I want to embarrass myself even more. Parking brakes released.
Dublin Tower, Seagull 839, request push and start from 2026. Speedbird 839, hello, just double check your squawk, 5441.
Alright, clear left, clear right.
Apologies, we'll stop it over 544. Speedbird 839, thanks. Once that's set, push and start approved, face west, QNH 906 hectopascals. Once changed over, push and start approved, facing southwest, QNH 0996
Dublin Tower, we're on 4473 radio check.
Runner 4473, hello, reader 5.
We're on 4473, requesting hostile clearance on the Gatwick as well.
Sure why, we're looking a little stuttery
Runner 4473,
right now.
clear Gatwick, NDEC 1 Echo departure, runway 10 right. Stop flying flight level 90, squawk 1460, airborne frequency Shannon
Alright,
134.
up to the right here is Papa 1, next taxiways, Mike 1,
And
turn right on
Echo
there, hold
departure,
short of
runway 10
16.
right, flight level 90, 1460 to the squawk, and once airborne from that channel 134, decimal 26, we're on 4473.
Runner 4473, read back correct.
Alright, taxi light off. Holding short of 16 here.
James Alpha F Sierra Bravo Echo, good evening, ready sticks. James Alpha 5 November Echo, taxi link 2, right Foxtrot, Mike 1.
And checking with
hold
this
short
guy, I'm
runway
not sure if he knows I'm on tower frequency here.
See in James Alpha 5 November Echo. James Alpha 5 November Echo, taxi right on Foxtrot, Mike 1 and hold short runway 16. Right on Foxtrot, Mike 1, hold short of runway 16, James Alpha 5 November Echo.
Entire Sweden 345, holding short of runway 16, Mike 1.
Sweden 345, hello, cross runway 16, taxi Whiskey 2, Sierra, hold short runway 10 right.
Red Cross 16, Whiskey 2, Sierra, hold short of 10 right for Air Sweden 345. Alrighty, taxi lights on, turn off, on.
Runner 11 Tango Kilo, hello, follow the Swiss in front, correction, the Sweden in front, Whiskey 2, Sierra, hold short runway 10 right.
Checking your balance, 57, Whiskey 2, Sierra,
Sergeant 33 Charlie Bravo.
South 33 Charlie Bravo, hello. Continue with the convoy line, cross 16, Whiskey 2, Sierra, and short 10 right.
With the Conga, Mike 1, Whiskey 2, Sierra. I was confirmed 6, Sierra 6.
Yes, Sierra 6 is good.
Alrighty, let's do a quick departure brief here. So, we're going to the box, going to Varga off 10 right. It's going to be on the Rot E, Echo 8 to Radev. RNF to Delta Whiskey 553 at or above 4,000 feet there, looks like. Above 4,000 feet at or below 9,000 feet, which is actually where we're rolling off at. That will be using LNAV, VNAV up to 9,000 feet.
Speedbird 839, right taxi. Speedbird 839, taxi.
Alrighty, B4.
Straight ahead, give way to the Aer Lingus 320 off your
Takeoff
left.
checklist here. Takeoff briefing has been reviewed. Flaps are auto. Flaps are set. Are they? 5 and 5 down there. So those are set. Stabilizer trim. Ooh, it's not set. 5 degrees. Let me finish this turn here.
Taxi Whiskey 2, Sierra, hold short runway 10 right. Cross runway 16, Whiskey 2, hold set, Sierra, runway 10 right.
5 degrees down there, and
All stations, new airborne frequency after departure. Dublin control 129er, decimal 180.
2918. Alright, got departure frequency up now. Okay, trim is set. Let's keep going here. Flight controls. Oh, sure, I haven't checked them yet. Up. Right.
Sweden 345, Tower.
Go ahead for the Sweden 345.
Sweden 345. Thanks, just be advised, cleared in the, with the last controller. You have an invalid cruise altitude for your direction of flight. You'll need to be an odd number, but can you accept flight level 350 or 330?
Affirm, we can accept 350 for Sweden 345.
Sweden 345, thanks. Expect a new cruise altitude 350.
350 or Sweden 345. 350 here. And then I guess that was a little too high for
good evening.
quicker trip, because it's going to be, let's do 0.80 here. It's probably going to wipe out some speeds. Not got no speeds to worry about here, so climb.
Sherlock 201, hello, to a correction, 10 left here, clear to land, wind 050 degrees, 13 knots. 10,
Okay, checklist. Flight control has been checked, cabin is secured, and taxi, runway turn off light. They're going to stay on there for me. Before takeoff checklist, that's complete. Turned.
Sorry, Cluster 670, good evening, cleared Edinburgh, road have 8 Echo, departure, runway 10, stop climb, 90, squawk 6634. Airborne frequency is Dublin 129er, decimal 180.
Clear to Edinburgh on Road 8, Echo departure, stop climb, flight level 90, squawk 6634, departure frequency 129er, decimal 18.
Oh, you know what? Left the lights on. Whoops.
Sunny 670, read back correct, brake, clear Sweden 345, wind 050 degrees, 13 knots, runway 10 right, clear for takeoff, bye bye.
Clear for takeoff 10 right, Air Sweden 345. Guess it didn't matter. Let's go back on. Camera. Down here. Yeah, good to go. Clocks. Reset that. Let's run the ET. Clock here. Zoom up front. Right. Good to go.
Under 2309, thanks. Taxi Charlie, Foxtrot Outer, Mike 1, hold short runway 16.
Charlie Fox Outer, Mike 1, short of 16 for MT3 Gemini.
Runner 11 Tango Kilo behind the departing 75, line up and wait, runway 10 right behind.
Beeper.
Gemstone 33 Charlie Bravo behind the departing 757, line up and wait by Sierra 6 behind.
Proceeding on throttle and press normal.
Right behind. Gemstone 33 Charlie Bravo.
View on. Proceed.
75670 after the Ryanair passes behind left and right, pushes left
Oscar 8,
approved.
you're up.
Finish 996 hectopascals.
Girlfriend is super light.
Just confirm after the Ryanair passes behind. Ryanair 4473, you can push the start.
There's 1,000 feet. Climb
Runner
fire,
4473, push
improving
the
on
start
speed.
approved, QNH 996 hectopascals.
Flaps to 1. And flaps up after takeoff check. Let's just go ahead and switch over to departure. Now Dublin, Air Sweden 345, 3.3, climbing 9,000.
Air Sweden 345, Dublin Control, good evening, identified, climb unrestricted, flight level 230, proceed direct to road south.
Direct to road south and unrestricted 230, Air Sweden 345. Alright, going to get pointed in the right direction first, Radev.
Thanks, continue approach runway 10 left, contact
Execute that. Let's start a left turn here and set unrestricted up to 230. 23 set. Alright, let's go ahead and turn the autopilot on here. And I'm gonna re-center. Now we should have a curved magenta line that actually takes us direct from Radev, or direct to Radev here, but I just have to work with what we've got here. So I'm going to execute that again.
Sherlock 7 Tango Echo descent to altitude 4,000 feet, the Dublin QNH 996 hectopascals.
Descent 4,000 feet, QNH 996, Shamrock 7 Tango Echo.
Trying to figure out what the transition altitude is here. But I'm not seeing anything. We'll just do it at 18.
Dublin, good evening, Gemstone 33 Charlie Bravo, passing 2,000, tracking the extended center line for 10 right. Gemstone 33 Charlie Bravo, Dublin Control, good evening, identify, maintain present heading, climb flight level 150. Maintain heading, climb flight level 150, Gemstone 33 Charlie Bravo.
Alright, so we're above 10,000 here. I'm gonna close the speed window. And let's go ahead and turn these lights off as well here.
Gemstone 33 Charlie Bravo, turn left heading 070. Left turn 070, Gemstone 33 Charlie Bravo. Shamrock 7 Tango Echo descent to altitude 3,000 feet, cleared left approach runway 10 left.
Delta C, clear direct, approach runway 10 dash, Denmark 7 Tango Echo.
Shadow effect's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, here's 18, we can go ahead and switch to standard QNH here, 1013. Let's see how far we've got to go. Decent little ways. Man, take a look at that climb performance. 4,500 feet per minute. And that's with the 52 knot tailwind too. That's ridiculous. Alright, so we'll soon be entering some visible moisture. Temperature is pretty low, so pretty low. By pretty low, I should say it's under 10 degrees total air temperature, so engine AS is coming on here preemptively. Oh, I forgot we're level 1 off air 230. Might have to remind this guy if we can get higher. Center, can air Sweden 345 get higher?
Sweden 345, climb flight level 350, unfortunately Scottish is offline, so I'm under advisory now 122.8, have a good flight, good night.
Alright, climb flight for level 350, over to 228, have a good one, Air Sweden 345. Oh, so much for that. There's 350, going to Unicom.
Left 020, heading.
Yeah, it looks like we're going control the rest of the way unless someone pops up, which is just fine by me. I'm not entirely sure. Here comes the bumps going through the clouds here. See if we can punch through this a little bit faster. Windows open. Let's do 280 knots. Decently rough ride, it looks like. Turn the sounds down just a tad bit here. Jeez. The layer is a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be. I think I'm about to break out here, but then we don't. There we go. Maybe not. Jeez, I could have sworn we were about to break out right there. Yeah, take a look at that tail window, man. 110 knots, more or less. We're leveling off at 350. I don't know if we're actually going to get above this layer. Whoa. Jeez, that sounded... Oh, we lost the motor there for a second. That was very abrupt. Alright, let me go ahead and close out the window here so we can speed up a little bit. Yeah, we're right at the tops here at 350. It's actually pretty neat. Alright, engine heaters can come off here. No, we'll just stay at 3.5. Just kind of do some cloud surfing. Hey, how's it going again, John? Good to see you, dude. Thoughts on Condor's recent 75300 retirement? Yeah. More efficient airplanes, whether it's the 321 or Neos, or the Max 73s. So yeah, I'm actually a little surprised that they held on to their 300s for as long as they did, but they had some very unique and some of their paint jobs or the schemes are very unique. So it's kind of it's sad, sad to see them go. Obviously, it's my fleet, so anytime anybody retires this airplane, it's kind of a sad thing to see. So, wow, 35 years, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's a good airplane, man. The 300's a little bit more like, granted, I've never flown the 73900, but I heard the 73900, as well as the 321, just the your normal IAEs or CFM, not the NEOs, are kind of pigs. They don't climb quite as well. Whenever you're doing like a transcon 4-hour plus flight, you're kind of stuck in like the higher 20s, lower 30s. Can't really get above storms, anything like that. So that's kind of what the 300's like. It's it'll fill some, it'll take a lot of people up, but it's not gonna climb quite as well as the 200. So now, did Condor say what they're replacing them with, or they're obviously just old, or are they just getting rid of them and not replacing them with anything? I'm sure they're gonna replace them with something. Hey, no argument here, man. This certainly is a cool looking aircraft. So let's see what we are doing here. We are still south of England, it looks like. I've got a decent little ways to go. I'm not, I don't really have a lot to worry about just yet. Guess I could just kind of talk about what I've been up to lately. So I think a few weeks prior to, I think it was like a week or two before my last stream, I had recurrent due up, so honestly it was surprisingly a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It was my second time obviously doing these emergencies. You know, we do a V1 cut, upset recovery, single engine ILS, single engine go around, which I think is probably the hardest thing to do. Let's see, what else did we do? So wind shear escape maneuver. So seeing those maneuvers for the second time, definitely felt a lot more confident going into it. So much so that like I really wasn't doing a whole lot of studying beforehand, because you know, you do go around, you kind of practice what you're going to do if you lose an engine in your head. Well, I do anyway, prior to every departure, and just kind of walk through the procedures. So I'm like, you know, there's really not a whole lot to study compared to my previous airline. Like the oral portion, when it comes to like the quote-unquote systems validation, it's so much more relaxed than what we did at the regional side. Here we kind of walk through some slides, and you know, we'll get asked some questions about what, you know, certain things mean. We'll kind of point and click at, like, you know, what's this panel mean on the outside, and just kind of talk about it really. But that's about as like in depth as it goes. Whereas at the regional, I mean, it was kind of like anything was up for grabs and was at play. It's like, all right, tell me about the electric system, the fuel system, and you kind of had to have a decent knowledge of, you didn't need to like explain where this molecule is going to go from, from the time it gets to the aircraft to the time it exits the aircraft, but like you still need to have a decent idea about, the system. So yeah, the mainline, man, it's not like that at all. So oops, get my views set up here, but still, when I'm doing transcons, I think that I just like to dig into the manuals and just try to figure out for my own benefit, and just want to obviously know what you're doing up here. So just to kind of refresh my memory, I just kind of go through what each button does, and kind of just make notes. So I have been working on that for the overhead panel, and I do want to come up with a video for it. I'm still, I think I'm at the pressurization panel. So as soon as I get the pressurization done, the equipment cooling, and the packs, then I'm pretty much done with like the overhead, and kind of write a little script for the video. And I don't know how much editing I do for it. So as soon as I get done with that, I'm gonna release that video, and I think it'd be kind of just a good review to for myself, but at the same time, I think it'd be a little educational. Flight radar has, it says there are still 758 active 75s, noise 703 200s and 55 300s. Right on. Oh wow, Condor has all Airbus fleet now. Alright. I hope it works out for them. Okay, let me see what this approach is all about here real quick. So I said weather-wise, oh, so now it's actually from the northeast. You know what? So I think we will stick with the real weather actually. Yeah, clouds might block some of the scenery, but I don't think these mountains are really all that high, so I think it actually should still be pretty scenic coming in there. But I don't know why the localizer wasn't even showing up here in the approach plates. Well, honestly, I just found out about this airport not too long ago, so not too surprised. I should be surprised actually that they've even got approaches here. So I don't know. Have I checked out the Embraer E-Jets and X-Plane? I have not, John. Do you have it? I was a former CRJ guy, so I always sort of made fun of the Embraer guys just because I thought the airplane looked funny. What's funny though is if you were to ask me which one I would rather ride on, I'd probably pick the Embraer just because the seats are a lot more comfortable, a lot wider. Windows are a lot bigger, I think, but at the same time, like it's just more. It's I think electronically, anyway, it's more advanced than the CRJ because there's a lot more automated things up there, whereas in the CRJ we had to do a little bit more. Granted, I say that, but like I only flew to 700 and a 900. When it comes to like starting the engine, I mean, I think all I was just really doing was hitting a button and introducing new fuel. So it's not like it was a 200 where you had to turn the packs off and leads off and start the engine like manually. But there were a lot more things I heard that were automated on the Embraer than there were the CRJ. So I mean, they had the auto throttle. There were approaches that I know that they could do. They, as in like who was it usually? I think it was Brickyard. I think it was the what do you call it? Air shuttle guys. Who I would hear often. Brickyard, or is it Brickyard? Who's Air Shuttle? I think so. But anyway, it was those guys, they would be able to shoot approaches into DC that we couldn't shoot. So obviously their avionics were a lot more advanced than ours were. But I have not checked out the airplane to answer your question. I find it hard, dude, to spend money here on X-Plane just because other than to get my 7.5 fixed, man, like I really don't use a sim a whole lot. I say that, and like I saw this airport on Just Planes, and I was like, okay, I gotta fly in there, and sure enough, I had to find a scenery for it, and needless to say, it was not cheap, but I think it's worth the video, the stream, just to go in there and show it off to you guys if you guys don't know about it. It's really, actually, really cool place. Okay, so Rhubar. Did not expect it to take us to that position. So I haven't watched the Just Flight video that I'm referring to here, but I know the captain on the video was talking about how they did a visual approach. It was a nice day there, and they got a visual at some point and basically just kind of flew the approach on their own, which is fine and all, but I'm assuming I'll probably just have to vector myself once I get to like this Rober fix here. Question is, how tall or how high is this terrain right here? Mountains. Is there a terrain feature? Yeah, buddy. Okay, I see 1,000 feet here. It doesn't tell me how tall that is here. Oh, 1,000 feet. Okay. So if that's only 1,000 feet, then I should be able to... I think I might just fly to this... Oh, where's the airport? So there's the airport. I may fly to this fix and then start vectoring myself around here, or I think I'll actually just... maybe in between these two islands, we'll just turn left here and just vector ourselves towards the localizer. Let's get rid of some of this here, get rid of this, maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. It's hitting buttons. That guy, there we go. We land, we are going to have to turn back around on the runway at the end here. It's really not that long a runway either, 5,900 feet. It's got to be one of the more shorter runways. Where have I think the shortest runway I've landed on. Where would that be? Norfolk, I remember a long time ago, had some construction going on here where they chopped off a decent amount of the runway. You couldn't land until like past taxiway Alpha, and I can't remember how long that was. I want to say that was above 6,000 feet. So I've flown into Orange County before, but the captain did that landing. And Orange County is 5,700 feet, so it's actually longer than this airport, so that's wild. It's a good question. I'm gonna have to go back into like my logbook here and see which airports I've gone to that like have a shorter runway than 6,000 feet. But all that to say, 5,900 feet. Oh, what am I talking about? 5,900 feet's longer than Orange County, so Orange County's still on the shorter end. But with the airplane being as light as it is, I mean, 5,900 feet should not be a problem at all. And this is actually going... So elevation's 235 here, and it's 264 here. Interesting. Now I'm very confused, which I could have sworn that approach was from the east, but when it's from the east, it was going downhill, not uphill. I mean, it was going uphill, not downhill. Or maybe it goes uphill and then it goes back downhill. We'll find out. All that to say, when we do land, we'll have to turn at the departure end here of runway 30, and then turn back into the stands here. Let's see, where would we park? Alright, we'll go to stand number 5, I guess. I gotta say, AirX plane definitely stepped up the environmentals here. Oh, and I do need to add that I am using this X plane map enhancement. I just downloaded it yesterday, so I honestly don't know how much more of a difference it's making compared to auto ortho. I will say, I think the whole process of downloading this is a lot easier and quicker to deal with than auto ortho. And I had issues too with auto ortho when trying to testing out this airport. It had completely flattened out the entire terrain here, which is kind of negates the whole point of going here, because you're literally like flying next to mountains and whatnot. So I was looking for a replacement and found this map enhancement. So might just be the way I go from here on using X-Wing, because there's a free version apparently, and there's like a paid version. I guess the paid version gives you more it's a high quality like tiles compared to the free stuff here. But I'm literally like IMC right now, so and I basically only always fly Airline, so it's like, what does it really matter if it's low quality or not? But that's just me. Trying to find a view here that I really like. I guess that'll work for now. Actually, let's get some sun action in here. That's pretty cool. A thought that I had on one of my last trips here before I went on vacation is just how like skewed your perspective gets up here. And it's one thing when you're sitting at the gate and you can see the reflection of the aircraft, and you can get back inside real quick, and you can kind of visualize what the airplane looks like around you. So I can picture how far the the right wing is, or how far the left wing is from my point of view here. But I mean, once you get up in the altitudes, man, it's just you have no idea just how far you can see. Good afternoon there, Rough Landings. Yeah, you have no idea how far you can see, and I bring that up because when you're like trying to spot traffic, yeah, obviously I'm not gonna see this guy that's like, you know, 60 miles away or whatever, but even when there's traffic that's like 5 miles away and it'll be like 1,000 feet above, I'll be looking for him. Like, I'm like, all right, 1,000 feet above, 5 miles away. Okay, so let's look like over here somewhere, like, and they're never where I expect them to be. It's like right at the like eye level, like the horizon, and I mean, it's just, it's never where I think it is, and it's just like, and there's so much room out here. You just, you can't. It's just so hard for me to figure out just like how much you can see up here, just because your view just gets, your perspective just gets so like skewed. But I don't know, it's just random or some random thoughts you think about when you're just sitting up here and, you know, neither of you is talking. Oh, top of D. Speaking of, nothing to do here. Top of D is coming up, so let's do some planning here since there's no SID, and I would like to be 10,000 feet. Whoa, how did I do that? Did not know you could do this. Cool. Alright, squirrel. Anyway, EKVG. Let's do this here. We're gonna go to, I'm not entirely sure if this is gonna work, but this is what we would do in the CRJ. When we would fly to airports, which was like, you know, more than half the time that didn't have stars. We would grab the airport code, the fix, and we do a distance of 30 miles. Should be able to go, oh, there we go. So we can get the beam fix here. Let me see if I can put this, look at that, yeah, it does work. So we can put that there. So that's 30-mile fix, and then we can say I want to be at 11,000 feet here. And well, and that's gonna change our top of D. I'm actually surprised that worked, man. For as much stuff as many issues as I have here with Flight Factor, I didn't think that was gonna work. But that's awesome. So that ring there tells us, hey, and honestly, I mean, you can see how, sorry, you can see how it matches. Fix 30 miles, and let me go to legs plan, legs page, and we'll step through here. Bam, bam. The fix, it says 11,000 feet. I want to be here. But that fix is right at 30 miles. And the top of D was, how far back is it here? I don't know. It's past Nayland. So essentially, the top of D is saying if you start your descent here, you should be right at that ring at 11,000 feet, which is essentially our little 30-mile ring here. So that's just like just a little call it technique that we used to use to figure out when we needed to descend, rather than like doing a whole the calculation to 3 times. I don't remember what it was again. It's like what altitude you're at. We're 35,000 feet. We need to go down to 10,000 feet. So it's 25, you know, 1,000 feet or 25, whatever distance or difference. Times that by 275. So about 75 miles out, we need to start a descent. That whole equation thing here. We can just look at this and it tells us, okay, there's your top of D. And now it should account for the wind. I don't really have any winds in here. There's no options to even put any descent winds in here, so cool. But that technically would take into account the wind, and should give you an idle descent down to the 11,000 feet there, but I don't trust that it's going to do that, especially with a little bit of a tail in here. Granted, it's actually bled off a lot more than what we had when we first got here to cruise. It was like 100, 110 knots, 100 knots, somewhere around there. But all that to say, we'll start a descent. don't know, 10 miles away from that top of descent marker there. So, speaking of, let's hop back into the chart here and actually brief this properly. So, weather-wise, illegally. So that's what we're gonna do. The QNH is actually standard at 10-13 there. Winds are out of the north at 14, so it's gonna a little bit of a slight tailwind with the with that inbound course being it's not 109, it is actually 122. So yeah, it's going to be a tailwind component there, but it should be fine, especially with the airplane being as light as it is here. So a visual approach with the localizer here. A visual approach will back it up with the localizer. That's on 11-1, effective the 16th of May. That frequency is going to be 108, make that 109.1, and I am just going to leave this up here with the inbound courses 109. And our decision height is, it's got a DA of 820, and according to my company procedures, whenever there's a MDA, it says DA/NDA, I'm just gonna add the 50 feet for a little insurance here. So let's do 870. 2, 4, 6, 7, close enough. And on the captain side as well, you're going to bug 824, 670 feet there. What else? Airport elevation is 280. The runway is going to be 264. So it's a little bit of a we're on the like downhill from the at the bottom of the hill here. So it does go uphill initially, and then it goes back downhill. The MSA is 2,900 feet from our point, from our from where we're approaching to the north and northeast. There it's 4,000 feet to the south. East and to the east 3,600 feet there. So the miss is to climb to right turn turn right, climb the 3,700 feet inbound the VG to Varga. It's an NDB. Wow. Anyway, upon reaching 3,700 feet, turn right to join my cone holding. We would definitely not do that, especially if it's VFR. We would just probably just turn right up to 3,700 feet, and then we'll just try it again. Let me see. We've got we call it high ALS, Pappy's left and right, which is nice. And then again, it's 5,900 feet of runway. We'll just taxi all the way down to the end, turn around. Since we are going downhill, I mean, even if we weren't, I would still use auto brakes 3. Our approach speed is very low, so I'm actually just going to use flaps 23. Their flaps 25, the ref is 123 here, and that gives us a this is one feature I love about this airplane, or it just sets your bugs automatically for you. So our flaps 5 ref speed is 161 and then 201, so that's already automatically set for us here. I think that's pretty much it for the brief. Our bugs, brakes, sets, and these bugs. Oh, so one little not caveat, but just one characteristic, I guess, of this airplane is it does have the tendency to land really, really slow. I mean, 123 knots. We used to land faster, like in the 130 range. Obviously depending on how much you weigh, but in the CRJ we were usually in the 130 range. So when this airplane's light, it can land really, really slow. The thing about it is it's actually pretty hard to land when it's light. And I think that's because even though the ref is 123, we're obviously going to add the 5 knots here. So speaking of, let's set this little bug reference here. So we will land with 128 set in the MCP. Even though it has the ability to land this low, or this slow I should say, once you get below that 123 speed, man, like the airplane just stops. It just gets out of the, it just drops out of the sky. So you really have to be careful with the speed. And essentially fly to the runway. Normally, when you're in like the 130 knot range, you can get into ground effect 30 knots, or 30 feet above the ground. You can bring the throttles back to idle and essentially just kind of fly it down to the runway. And it's really, really forgiving because of those bogies that tilt. But every time I've landed this airplane that's like been below 125 knots or so, it's been really, really hard, because once the airplane just gets to that point where it's like below 120 knots, 123 or 120, somewhere around there, it just stops flying. So fun times. Now what did I say? About 10 miles away from that top of the hill started descent, so that's in about another 88 miles. Zulu time 1:45 or 14:45, so about another 10 minutes from now or so. Yeah, it's super overcast, isn't it? You know, having never flown one of these freighters before, I find it really interesting just looking at it here, why there aren't any windows in the back. Like I've seen, I don't know, 777s or 74s where there's like at least one window in the middle of the wing here where you can, you know, go back there and take a look. But there's absolutely nothing in. And then if this is accurate at all, I mean, it's like pretty cool that one, the flight deck door is like non-existent, but two, oh, okay, so you can open, I wonder if you can open this. Let's see here, unlock. Nope, doesn't work. And it won't even let me go past beyond here, so that kind of sucks. But anyway, I suppose in a real aircraft you could probably open this up and take a look at the cargo back there if you wanted to. Let's see if I can get in here. Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be a way where you can at least peek in and just like inspect, make sure everything is where it needs to be. But sounds like you've got no window view. Scottish. Let's see how slow we're supposed to be descending here. I'd like to do 300 knots, so we are doing 0.78, more or less. Yeah, sure. 0.78 here. And 300 knots, 0.78. I don't know if it's going to let me do this. Nope. About 300 knots. Nope. 300 slash. Nope. Didn't think so. Cool. How about 250 knot restriction? Thank you. Let's see, the legs page, 280 knots is not bad. Transition level is 7,500 feet. That should have been something I would have briefed, but considering I didn't see a star. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Transition altitude. These frickin' FOs. Alright, transition altitude, 7,500 feet. Good to know. Jeez. Betas, Aveo, Vatson, no real winds or weather. 37 degrees. It's not actually warmer than I thought it would be here in Scotland. Reykjavik. Iceland, I guess. What? I don't even know what country this is that qualifies as. I'm embarrassed. Let me look this up. Varga is, or Faroe, rather. Faroe Islands is. Okay, I cannot say this. It's the only airport in the Faroe Islands located in 1 nautical miles east of the village of Sorvagur in the island of Varga, 29 miles west of the capital Torshavn. It is the main operator for the main operating base for four-sea flag carrier Atlantic Airways. Ah, cool. But didn't answer my question. I don't know what country this is a part of. Thank you, Denmark. Good deal, Denmark. Wonder if that flag has anything to do with it. Sheesh. Well, the flag says, I mean, that's Iceland, I guess. Not really Denmark, but they're Danish, but Denmark, good to know. It's probably one part of the world I will never go to. Greenland, don't tell Trump. I know, right? Yeah, I'm loving these colors, man. It's like starting to get towards that golden hour. Miles, 20, 30 miles or so. About 20 minutes left. Oops. I feel like I'm underselling this approach. It's probably the coolest I've done so far here in Flight Sim. Granted, kind of, I tend to stay in the U.S., so it's not seeing a whole lot. I just kind of stick to what I know. So I'm probably missing out on a whole lot of other cool approaches and places. That being said, when Bluebird comes out with their aircraft there, I think probably one of the first places I'm gonna go is the place in Honduras, Tonkin. I don't know how to say it. I don't think a lot of people go there anymore. Could be mistaken. Tonson. The Compton and Honduras. Yeah, that's it. I see the video now. The American 7.5 lane in there. Jeez, May 2009. Good lord. Alright, 10 miles out here. Let's go ahead and set that bottom altitude of 11,000 feet. And PMDG does this right, where you hit the send now. It should be a prompt. You should have to execute it, but here it just goes straight to the send now and starts going down. So it is what it is. It's kind of my technique too in the real world. The top of descend is essentially you're supposed to. It's calculating to descend at idle. So when you descend now, I think it descends at roughly like 1,200 feet per minute. So I like to just kind of make that transition from cruising to beginning the descent a little bit more smoother. So I'll either use the vertical speed to like slowly go down to 500 feet per minute initially for maybe like 30 seconds or so, and then 1,000 feet per minute, and then I'll hit the descend now and then go back to VNAV, or I'll just do descend now just so it'll descend at 1,200 feet, 1,000 feet per minute initially before it like brings the power all the way back to idle and starts descending. So one thing I really liked about the CRJ, you got really hands-on with the airplane, and you could, fly it as efficiently as you wanted to, or as comfortable as you wanted to. So I got used to flying comfortable. My kind of like mantra that I kind of told to myself was, if I could trick the crew, if someone was deadheading in the back as to when we'd started our descent, if I could make it so that they couldn't tell, then like I'm doing my job. So a little bit harder to do that in an airplane where you're constantly using LNAV and VNAV, but there are tricks you can kind of use to still make the aircraft or make the ride a little bit more comfortable. Alright, down we go. The wind's finally shifted to a headwind now. I don't even know what the winds are supposed to be doing the entire trip. Let's see if we can pop out some layers here. Where is the weather? That's nighttime. Layers. Weather. And where is our wind barbs? Flight level 220. We are at leaving 330 now, so yeah, probably have what headwinds the entire way down, looks like. Only reason I'm curious about that was if we were going to be high or low on our descent path there, because again, I'm not entirely sure how much this VNAV is taking account the winds that we've got. Obviously, it's not doing too good a job right now. If we started below it and now we're above the path, so go figure. So, I don't know why it's doing this right now. So, it should have gone idle to VNAV speed when it caught the path. Now it's telling me drag required. I'm telling you that I'm not going to use drag right now. They're probably going to need it because it's just going to keep speeding up here. Well, it is catching up to the path right now. We're speeding up just a tad bit, which is fine. Nope, it's... I'm gonna have to use the speed brakes here. If it let me go faster, then it wouldn't be a problem. 300... Hey, there we go, 300 knots. Now it's just gonna go diving for it. And considering we've only got boxes in the back of the airplane, Sync rate? I have never gotten a sync rate. Trust me, before, I've done like 4,500 feet per minute descent in the passenger bird. I've never gotten a sync rate chip whiz before at altitude. Interesting. Now, I'm using that modern EFIS here. I'm wondering if the terrain is going to work. It should not have to test anything. It should just work right away. Okay. I'm seeing terrain up ahead. I'm not sure what this purple stuff is. Captain, do you have purple? Nope. But your map is a little bit zoomed in here. Let's zoom out. You've got purple as well. Interesting. I don't know what purple is. Okay. In any case, I think in about another 10 miles or so, because I see I can see the terrain between those two land masses where I would prefer to turn towards the northeast here, or northwest rather, and just go ahead and start vectoring myself around. It looks like a heading of around 300 or so. Digging these shadows across the flight deck. There was a time here in X-Plane where if it was like this, the entire panel would be whatever it would be like this, like the sun was shining on it. So the fact that we're at this point where the shadow is actually going across and blocking the sun is, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think if they were to, they as in explain, if they were to step up the game with the, what do you call it, with the map coverage and whatnot, you know, the Bing maps, then it could potentially be competitive again. I'd say that it's not, but you know, people, I think more people would use it than they are right now. Just my opinion. Nobody asked for it. Alright. I'll go ahead and turn left here at 300 knots. We'll go ahead and I do want to use some fixes here. What can we do? I don't think that's gonna show up. MY to SF. Hey, how about that? Look, DME. That's not the one. Is it the DME? Oh yeah, there we go. So the 337. How about that? Okay. We got some references out here. And then SF is just a... That's the actual localizer itself. So we're not going to get any, I think we're going to get any extra than that here. Let's see what this looks like on a map. Zoom out here. You know what? I like that. Just kind of give myself a little reference here, and then my inbound course of 0109. Let's do this. My X and 337 gives me an inbound of 109. There we go. Got a little visual to what that localizer is supposed to look like here. Let me zoom in. Whoops. Cool beans. And I tell you what, we're getting a little bit on the higher side than I thought here. We're supposed to be at 11,000 feet, but VNAV is not VNAVing, so let's go ahead and go to flight level change. Bring my throttles back to idle. And I'll tell you how what. Let's go ahead and continue our descent down to, what this, we say the min safe was 2,900 feet this way. 3,700 feet, start turn. Well, I'm not going to do the procedure turn. Excuse me. I'm not going to do the procedure turn here. So, how about let's descend down to, let's see, 6,000 for now. Yeah, we've got no passengers. We'll just bring the boards out. Go ahead and start slowing to 250 knots here. Wish I had my wing views that I normally do on the passenger version, but goodness, take a look at that sun. That is blinding. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this before, man, it's super scenic down there. Alright, 260. Let's continue down to 5, actually. And where is the checklist? I have to take off. Did that a long time ago. But not really. Anyway. Descent checklist, pressurization panel is set to the landing altitude 280 feet. Recall is checked now. Auto brakes 3 set. Landing data, we've got our VRF set. And approach briefing we have completed. Descent checklist is complete there. And we're coming up to 10,000 feet here, so sound's coming back up. And music is going off. Really don't know what this purple stuff is here, but I definitely don't want to turn it off just because of all the terrain that we're going to be flying around. What I am going to do is, let's see, let's extend. So for my, I'm going to put an inbound course of 109 in here. And this is probably just going to go ahead and negate this fix here, so I'll get rid of that guy. It does say we need to be at or above 3,700 feet here, so I'm going to put this in the box as well. You know what? May as well put some speeds in here too, so we'll say 180 at 3,700 feet. And what that would do is we would have to recalculate our football here and give us what, well, it'll give us a little bit more accurate altitude deviation here from our deviation pointer. Alright, so now we are in the soup. It is negative 10 degrees or less than 10 degrees, so engine anti-ice is coming back on again. And I don't anticipate that we're going to break out until about, what did it say, 3,300 feet or so? Yeah, broken at 3,300. Alright, 8,000 to go. Let's go ahead and start slowing down here. We'll do 210 for now. Check the spoilers here real quick, and let's see, speed's good. Let's go ahead and, whoops, flaps 1 is all I wanted. Alright, flaps 1 set. Let's turn right to, let's do 340, and let's ascend down to 4,000 feet. It's 4, flight level change. There's out cap and out hold. Now, I do want to have some markers for myself here, so let's do, it says point 2 DME out. Sorry, let's go over here first. I actually do want my fix back, that's why I was thinking about that initially. So my 337 distance of, let's see, 3 miles out. So 3 miles out from here, and let's do the approach, or the inbound course too. So 0109, inbound 3, the distance of 3 miles. That's not right. I actually need the localizer here. That guy. I'm just getting myself confused here. Just keep it simple. Alright, let's turn inbound. Gives me a heading of 040. So, let me see if I can get that localizer to actually show up on here. Does this work? Hey, look, DME, there we go. Alright, now we're cooking with grease here. So, inbound course of, actually I don't care about the course. Let's just do 2, distance of 2, distance of 3. Awesome. So 3 miles out, we need to be at 1,400 feet. 2 miles out, 900 feet. And then this is the 850 that we are going to plan on using. Oh, look, there. It's awesome. The localizer does work. So we are going to arm the loc. I'm going to descend to 3,700 feet here, vertical speed -5. Slow to 180. Flaps 5. Flaps 15. Alright, so since we're in out halt mode, I'm gonna set 1,400 feet here. Because we know we need to cross at 3.2 DME from the localizer at 1,400 feet. So long as it's, get that banana bar at that outer ring there, the descent rate should be good. Let me see. Give us a better intercept course here, 065, and we'll arm the loc. And I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and go to flaps 20. A little draggy, but I think it'll be better if we just go ahead and set ourselves up for the final approach here, speed. before we start our descent. So inbound is, geez, the final approach speed is 128, which is super low. I think I'll hold off on slowing down that much, because this thing does not know how to keep its speed. Like, look, what is it? We're about to stall. Literally stalling right now. What is this even? What is this? Oh, belts off. We're in alpha. Like, that's ridiculous. Why are we so slow? Push the nose down, airplane. We're literally full. Is it? Do we need wing any ice? Like, I don't understand what's going on here. Take a look at my trim. Trim is nose up all the way. Flight factor. Silly goose. Okay. I don't understand why it just did what it did. But I think we're just going to do some manual flying from here on. Let's go ahead and slow down to final approach speed 128. Can't even enjoy the terrain right now in this view just because of what just happened, but anyway. Alright, a little on the high side. I mean, if I did set this up the way I'm supposed to, that deviation should be pretty accurate, so we're just going to follow that for now. Yeah, take a look at where the runway is. So there it is, with our 14-degree offset from the on the localizer right now. All right, drop the speed. Let's bring the gear down.
2,500.
Gear down, flaps 25, landing checklist. Let's go ahead and arm the brakes there. Alright, we're still looking good on the glide slope. There's our at least one red right now. So long as we do about 700 feet per minute, we should be just fine. So with that being said, our mist I think was 3,700. 3,700. And here comes the aircraft stalling me again. Alright, my throttles, man. I don't know what this airplane's doing. Just a little left to center of the approach course anyway, not the center. See one red. Now we're getting high. Yeah, I see it. A little high. Descent's very steep. Let's see if we can correct that. It's still very high. Going around. Go around, flaps 20. Positive 8. Go around, 05, positive 8, gear up. That was abysmal. Alright, let's go to heading mode in here. So heading select. And bug flaps 5. Let's just do 180 knots. And 1,000 feet to go. We continue this little right turn to, let's see, 240. And flaps to 5. Yep, it's about as bulk as bulk landings go. $3,700 feet. Alright, let's regroup. No big deal. For flaps 5, we'll get some automation in here, autopilot's on. Continue that right turn to 300. And we'll do the after takeoff checklist. Next landing gear is up and off. Flaps 5 right now. Altimeter is set after takeoff checklist complete. Alright. No biggie. Got very squirrely there. I think I'm just going to take control a lot earlier. And let's go to flaps 1. Let's speed up to 200 and let's do 210 here. Yes, I was thinking I should have gone around as soon as like I saw the 4 whites. I'm like, man, this is not gonna work real high or fast. But oh well. Right, 3,700 feet. As soon as we beam this MY NDB will MyCom holding. NDB will go ahead and turn inbound again and Dragon should have plenty. Yeah, still got a whole lot of fuel here, so good there. Looks like we're about to go back into soup again. It's kind of neat how it opened up. I was so worried about the airplane stalling here that I really couldn't even enjoy the breakout. But back in we go. Pretty neat. Actually, you know what? If we don't have to, let's turn right to 330 here. I think we could probably stay out of it here for the most part. Another right turn, 360. I think we should break out pretty soon here. But we're level at 3,700 feet and out, hold. So let's go ahead and set 1,400 feet once again. And I'm going to continue that right turn to 3, make that 040. Actually, let's do, what's this here, 060. Slow to 200 knots, so don't go crazy on me here. Not gonna slow down that much. Flaps to 5 again. We'll go ahead and arm the localizer. Breaking out again once again. Alright, Yoke is active. Slow down in like 10 knot increments here just to make sure this thing doesn't slow down too fast for us. Alright, speed's good. Flaps to 15. You know what? Let's inhibit this because I know we're going to be close to terrain. Terrain override. And start descent 700 feet per minute. 180 knots. Oh, it's a little bit too fast for flaps 20 right now. There's our banana bar. Let's do 900 feet per minute. And I'll back it all the way down to a final approach speed of 128. And since she's not slowing down, let's bring the gear down. And slow enough for flaps 20, so there's flaps 20. Did I bring that? Turn the lights on? Lights on. I did forget to do the approach checklist last time too, so let's go ahead, or the landing checklist. No, it was the approach checklist, I forgot to do it. I did the landing checklist. Altimeters are checked, and nav aids, they are set. Approach checklist is complete once again. Alright, I got 3 green, speed's good, flaps 225, a little on the high side still, 1,000 feet per minute. Alright, that's looking a lot more better right now. I'm going to turn off the engine AEIs, the wing AEIs. We don't need that right now. We're not visible moisture, so throttle's off. Flaps are 25. Let's arm the speed brakes. Winds are getting swirly again. Landing checklist. Secure, CVX arm, and gears down, flaps are set, line check speeds. Alright. That's looking a little bit better. A little on the fast side, but we can correct for that. Belts off. Whoops, no, it's on. Hot belts off. We'll continue our descent. Let's set our missed approach altitude. 3,700 feet once again. As we're still high. Thousand feet cleared to land. Still fast. Goodness gracious. Like, power's all the way down to idle. It's crazy. Whoa, sync rate. I agree.
5,
That's much better. Alright, on idle. Oh my good lord. That was full aft on the yoke. Yikes. I think that was even hard for the boxes. Good lord. Alright, let's go the reverse. Lloydie nuts. Damn. Alright, APU's coming on. Alright, let's get off the runway. Flaps up. After landing checklist, let's go ahead and turn that back on. Autopilot is control. We have the autopilot ICAS message there. Tell you what, we'll get right to the pull up to the exit here, and I'll pause it. We'll disconnect off of that sim, and then we'll take a look at the replay before we go park it. So this runway is like a hill, so it did start on the lower end there, then it like comes up and then it goes back down. Alright, we are disconnected. We'll pause it right here. And let's take a look at just how hard that was. Now I've got to give this a try in FS. I might just do that tomorrow. The winds were super squirrely here. But yeah, man, towards the end, I mean, like, it's like, alright, 30 feet, power to idle, and, I mean, look, it's full deflection on the elevator. Jeez. As for a box or a passenger, that was amazing. A real life pilot goes around. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that, man. I should have been a little bit more. Should have been aware, because again, I like when I took the screenshot for it, I'm like, man, the winds are going to be squirrely on the approach, but I figured I'd be on top of it. Nope. Ouch. And it doesn't, like, it doesn't help too that the runway's coming up to you since you're going uphill, so you really should have arrested the sign a little bit quicker, but hey. We're here. Alright. Turn that off. And back to real life. Alright, since we're off the runway here, we can turn all of the lights off. And it looks like the APU doesn't want to start. I landed so hard I broke the APU. I think it's at spot 5. It doesn't really matter here. Let's turn all light off. Alright, it's starting up now. Assuming it'll go to the first line, I have no idea. Alright, let's see. Parking brake set, pressure is good up here, APU's up and running. Captain's gonna turn the hydraulics off, fuel pumps off. I'm going to turn seatbelts off. Whoa. APU bleed isolation valve is open. Recirc off. And that should be everything. Is there a shutdown checklist here? Yep, shutdown checklist. Hydraulic panel is set. Fuel pumps are off. Flaps are on. Park brake set. Fuel control switches cut off. Weather radar is... Sure, we'll put it on test. It is off. Shutdown check is complete. Well, guys, I hope that was fun. Certainly not what I expected here. Whoops. Certainly not what I expected on the approach there, but yeah, if you guys gotta check out this scenery in X-Plane or Flight Sim, whichever sim you guys use, it's I think it's definitely worth the try. That being said, if I've got nothing going on tomorrow, which I shouldn't, I might just hop into 7.5 again and see if I can redeem myself from that landing, because that was abysmal. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. That's it for me. I am out of here. Absolutely.